Here, I want to explain 5 topics such as computer crime and security, intellectual property, privacy and surveillance, computer reliability, and lastly, professional ethics. So now, I would like to explain computer crime and security. The computer crime that I choose is hacking. The definition of hacking is the act of gaining unauthorized access to a computer system or network by exploiting vulnerabilities or by bypassing security measures. There are 4 types of hacking, which is computer hacking, password hacking, network hacking, and email hacking. For computer hacking, refer to the process of manipulating or exploiting computer system, network, or digital device to gain unauthorized access, modify operation, or achieve a specific goal. There are 4 types of computer hack, which is white hat, black hat, gray hat hacks, and hacktivists. For password hacking, is referred to the process of gaining unauthorized access to system, account, or data by compromising user password. There are 3 methods of password hacking. Firstly, brute force attacks. A brute force attack is a trial and error method used to crack password, encryption key, or PIN by systematically trying all possible combinations until the correct one is found. Secondly, dictionary attack. A dictionary attack is a type of password cracking method that attempts to guess a password by systematically testing words from a precompiled list, known as dictionary. Thirdly, key logging. Next, network hacking. Network hacking refers to unauthorized access or exploiting of computer network to steal, manipulate, or disrupt data and resources. There are 3 methods of network hacking. Firstly, packet sniffing is a network hacking technique where attackers intercept and analyze data packets transmitted over a network. Secondly, man in the middle, and thirdly, network spoofing. And lastly, for email hacking is unauthorized access to someone's email account or system, often to steal sensitive information, impersonate the victim, or facilitate future cyber attacks. The computer crime is harmful because our financial and personal information is surreptitiously transmitted by malware that a hacker has installed on our computer while it is connected to the internet without our knowledge or agreement. Then they will have the ability to hijack our username and password, steal our money, and open credit card and bank account in our name, drain our credit, request new account personal identification numbers or addition credit card, make purchase and themselves or an aliens that they control as an unauthorized user, so it's easier to use our credit, obtain cash advance, use and abuse our social security number. There are many steps that we can take to prevent being hacked. Firstly, keep password private. Maintaining our digital security requires prevent hacking and keep password confidential. Avoid sharing password with anyone, even trust individuals. Other than that, do not write password on sticky note or store them in unprotected files. Next, strengthen our password. We need to create password that at least 12 characters long and include a mix of uppercase and lowercase letters numbered as special characters. Do not use easy questionable passwords like 12345C or personal details such as your name or birthday. Next, I want to explain about intellectual property. Now, I would like to show how to register my IPO copyright. Firstly, click Copyright and choose Form and Fill in Notify Copyright. After that, we need to click CR-1. Then, complete the document. Next, the source code can be submitted as a soft copy. Then, we also need proof of authorship and ownership, for example, agreement or contract. Also that, we need to payment for registration fee. Next, I want to explain about surveillance. The surveillance is the monitor of individual or observing something in order to gain information. Surveillance can be used to protect private property, gain information on a certain objective, or find evidence on a person or organization. The type of surveillance is physically surveillance. With physically surveillance, investigators can either follow suspects around a location or from a stationary position, also known as a stakeout. Next, electronic surveillance. Electronic surveillance relies on electronic devices such as camera, microphone, GPS tracker, and other monitor tools to gain information. Electronic surveillance is typically used by security personnel to monitor individuals within public and private establishments, but it also used by investigators who need to capture and record covert conversation or activities. Other than that, computer surveillance, this method consists of monitors individual computer usage, including their internet history, email, and other online activities. Example of physical surveillance is observation security personnel, CCTV, and security cameras and drones. Next, digital and online surveillance. Digital and online surveillance involve monitoring digital activities and online communication to gather data, ensure security, or track behaviors. Examples of digital and online surveillance are Internet activity monitor, social media monitoring, and email message surveillance. Other than that, audio surveillance. Audio surveillance involves capture and monitoring conversation or sounds, often for security, investigative, and intelligence purposes. Employers can monitor employee computer activity, but this must comply with relevant legal and ethical guidelines, which vary by country or region. Example of to monitor our employee computer activity is employee monitoring. Software is a tool used by organization to track and manage employee activity on computer, networks, and devices. Its aim to enhance productivity, ensure compliance, and protect company assets, but its use must be balanced with privacy consideration and legal compliance. Another feature is time tracking. Time tracking to log start and end time from tasks, season, and breaks. It also can provide data for billable hours or attendance records. Next, screen monitoring is periodic screenshot or live viewing of employee screen. Thus also allow video recording of desktop activities. Yes, government often monitor their citizens as part of efforts to maintain security, enforce laws, and protect national interests. The first example is mass data collection. Its works by NSA collects data from major tech companies like Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. This includes email, video, chat, file transfer, and other digital communications. Another example is CCTV and facial recognition. It's used by using cameras in public space to monitor citizen movement in real time. Surveillance is an ethical issue because it raises significant questions about privacy, consent, fairness, and the balance between security and individual freedom. This ethical concern arises from the potential misuse of surveillance technologies, their impact on human rights, and their influence on social trust. Firstly, protect our online activity, such as use encryption tools, use VPN to encrypt internet traffic and mask your IP address. Then, secure communication, use end-to-end encryption message apps like Signal, WhatsApp, or Telegram for private conversations. Next, disable tracking, use privacy-focused browser like Brave or add extension like block origins and privacy badger to block tracker. Next, I want to explain about computer reliability. Reliability is important in a system for several reasons. The first reason is maintaining trust. Reliability is like a promise that a system makes to its user. When a system consistently delivers on the promise by working as expected, the user develops trust in the system. Another reason is minimize downtime. Downtime refers to period when a system is not operational. Reliable systems experience less downtime because they are less likely to fail unexpectedly. Next, cost saving. Reliable systems require fewer resources for maintenance, repair, and replacement. This is because they experience fewer failures, reducing the need for costly repair or replacement. Over time, this saving can be substantial and contribute to the overall cost effectiveness of the system. Net compliance and regulation. Many industries have regulation and standards that require systems to meet certain reliability criteria. These regulations are in place to ensure the systems are safe, reliable, and secure. Lastly, customer satisfaction. Reliability direction impacts customer satisfaction. Users are more likely to be satisfied with a system that consistently meets their needs and expectations. This can lead to increased loyalty and positive word of mouth recommendations, which are valuable for any organization. For case study that I get, the measurement encompassed a period of 3 years from January 1978 to December 1981. Approximately 70% of all failure affected the CPU were estimated to be permanent. The manifestation of a permanent failure was found to be strongly correlated with the level and type of workload prior to the failure. In my opinion, on the mobile phone reliability between the era of Nokia or BlackBerry was the current time that uses Android or Apple mobile phone in the terms of battery life. For Nokia and BlackBerry, phone in the disc had smaller, less power hungry screen and limited functionality. allowing batteries to last several days on a single charge, while for Android and Apple, batteries in modern phones typically last 1 until 2 days due to high-power processor, larger screen, and more demanding apps through fast charging and power-saving mode partially compensate. In terms of software reliability, for Nokia and BlackBerry era, the security was renowned for its secure communication, which made it the go-to choice for business and government. Also, that the software updates were rare and typically unnecessary due to the simplicity of the system. For security, Apple prioritizes security with its closed ecosystem, while Android offers more open but can be more vulnerable to malware. Lastly, I will explain about professional ethics. The professional code or ethics for a software engineer who develops the MySejahtera mobile apps can be based on the 8 principles of ethical, responsible relationship, focusing on public, client, and employer, product, and judgment. Here, description on how the engineer responsibility align with these 4 principles. A software engineer develops MySejahtera, a public health app, has a primary responsibility to the public. This includes ensuring the app serves the public interest, particularly in terms of health, safety, and privacy. Next, the engineer must balance the needs of their clients and their employer while upholding ethical standards. Other than that, the product, in the case the MySejahtera apps, must meet certain standards for functionality, security, and performance. The engineer is responsible for ensuring the app is designed, tested, and maintained in a way that delivers a reliable and secure product to users. Lastly, judgment. Software engineers must exercise sound judgment in all their decisions related to the development of the apps. This includes making decisions on coding practice, data handling, and privacy protection.
Another tutorial from How To's. Today we will be installing and using the MySejahtera app, which is the official COVID-19 app for Malaysia. So if you haven't already, you should be installing MySejahtera from Google or Android App Store. So after you have installed the app, click on Open. Next, click on Get Started. The app will need a few permissions on your phone settings. We'll go through it later. Just click Accept. Next, you would need to register an account with MySejahtera. To do that, just click on the Register Here button. Do take note there are 2 ways which you can register with MySejahtera. One is using a mobile number and the next way is using an email address. Once you have selected your method of registration, there are no way to change it. So if you lose the access to either your email or your phone number, there will be no way to officially register again for MySejahtera. So for this example, I would be registering by using my email address. So I would select the options on the bottom to register with email address. On the next step, key in the email address that you want to register with. Click the register button. You will then need to enter the OTP that is sent to the email address. On the next page is pretty simple, just fill in your personal details and click the next button. Do fill in other personal information such as your gender, your address. On the last part, you will need to set a password for your MySejahtera account. Click on confirm once everything is completed. If you now log in and use MySejahtera, log in by using your ID created during the registration process. This would be either your phone or your email address. Since I created an account by using an email, I will click login with email. Next, enter your user ID, which is your email address and your password, and click sign in. For your first time logging in, you will need to do a health declaration for Ministry of Health. Click on Start to proceed. Complete all the answers for the declaration. Next, click on Submit to proceed. Okay, now we are at the MySejahtera main interface. The feature that you would probably use most is the check-in function. Everyone in Malaysia is required to use the check-in function before entering any premises. To use the check-in function, click the check-in button. Next, click on check-in button again. You'll then need to allow the camera permission for the MySejahtera app. So if you see any QR code on any premises, you will need to check in before going into the premise. Now click on the check-in button. Next, scan your camera into the QR code and you have successfully checked into a business premise. Now let's head back to MySejahtera main menu. So what if you have children or some of your family who do not own a smartphone? You can do a check-in for them. To do that, you will need to add them as dependent. Click on the More button. Next, select Manage Dependents. Then click on Add Dependents. Over here, you will have the options to enter your dependent details. Click Save to add your dependent into your MySejahtera. You should be able to select your dependent when you do a check-in with MySejahtera. To register for COVID-19 vaccination, you can use the COVID-19 vaccination button. To check how many cases of COVID-19 in your area, you can use the COVID-19 hotspot. Allow the GPS permission and click the